Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 19 of my Factorio Post-Nauvis guide. So in the last episode, we created a build for Tier 3 modules. No hiccups here. And we put quality in it to make sure that we could start getting some of the quality modules, or the quality versions of the modules, which is fantastic. It's going to be a great thing to have early on. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to be using it, but I will try to do my best to try to get us to use it somewhere. So I did mention that I would be kind of spreading out and tapping a bunch of different mining areas. I did not do that. I did explore, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Like, I wouldn't mind like jumping into streaming, and I wasn't really sure how I would start that because I don't have a lot of time. But if I, like during the weekends, if I just felt like streaming, I had some extra time, I decided that I was going to leave a lot of this busy work for something like that. Like if I wanted to have like a test stream, I could set up a lot of that stuff on camera. So I'm going to hold off. We should be fine with what we have going on here, mostly. We're down some, but that's okay. We have mining productivity going. That will help as well. And I don't have side over here. Anyways, so in today's episode, we are going to Fulgora. So we're going to not really do that much more on Vulcanus. We have basically everything that we need. I did upgrade the belts though. Like every belt in this section here has been upgraded. It is all green belts, so that is one thing that I did before we left. Okay, so what do we need? We are going to hop a ride or hitch a ride on the Peon. This is currently going back and forth between Vulcanus and Nauvis. We are... Oh, can you please come back? We're going to hitch a ride on this, and we are going to also remove the blue belts, and we are going to change to green belts. So we're going to start the process of getting some of this stuff in. I should have looked to see what I just had. What, 300? Let's say. This was probably like, I don't know, 100? 150? And I'm going to drop all of this down to the planet. What else do we not need? We don't need any of this where we're going. Or these for that matter. I'm going to leave these. That's fine if they stay for now. I should rename this something other than Vulcanus supplies. I'm going to call this... Let's just make sure that we're not going anywhere unless passengers present. So I don't really want to remove a lot of this, but what I might end up doing at some point is we are... Hold on, let me figure this out. All right. This is a key thing. We need to collect these from Vulcanus and not Nauvis because we are obviously in need of that from this planet. Did I do the same thing? I didn't need to do the same thing. It just defaulted to Vulcanus for these. Let's see, we also need some cliff explosives. Sure. Yeah, so things that we will end up needing from both planets, we will have collected here. And we don't need a lot of this stuff anymore on Vulcanus, but it will continue to need some things. Like as an example, I just off the top of my head, maybe electric mining drills. We could actually manufacture this on Vulcanus with the bot mall, which we might end up doing. But, you know, little stuff here and there. So actually, that's probably the majority of what we might actually need. Anything else we could either manufacture on the planet as needed or get the wizard to import since it has some extra space over here. Okay, so this is a vast majority of the stuff that we're bringing with us. It's very similar to what we need on other planets. We don't need some things like pump jacks. That is not necessary. We will need extra stuff like we could bring in big mining drills, which we do not have on here. 60 is probably fine for now. I suppose we could have some foundries just to have them around. Okay, so once we collect all of this stuff, I am going to jump, make a cut, and once everything is here, I will come back and we are going to make our first trip to Fulgora. I'm very excited. There are a couple of concepts that we want to be aware of very early on. I feel like Fulgora might be a planet that players struggle with. Same with, I always want to say Gleba, but I guess technically it's Gleba. Obviously there's not, whatever. Brain keeps wanting to say Gleba. I promise you I'm going to call it Gleba a lot. I'm going to try not to, and I'm going to try to call it Gleba. But we are, yeah, Vulcanus. Fulgora is kind of, man, these rockets, I swear, every time I get near them, I'm like, ah, these rockets. Yeah, so Fulgora is one of those planets that there's very limited space. So once we get there, I want to go over a couple of like key concepts, like maybe talk about the planet a little bit. And yeah, so I will see you on the flip side. And we're back. Okay, so that took quite a bit of time, and I also forgot to discover Fulgora, so I did that while we were waiting, which should be popping any second now. Yay, we have discovered Fulgora. Okay, so last thing that we need to do is we need to get rid of our inventory. So we're going to remove trash unrequested and just get everything out of our inventory. The bots will take all that back to storage. We could go over there and help them out a little bit. Cut down on the travel time. Don't worry, eventually the bots will be way faster than we are. And that time is hopefully coming soon. Can I just dump some of this stuff? Ah, it doesn't matter. They'll take care of it soon enough. Come on, almost there. Okay, so now it is time to go to Fulgora. I am super excited to finally get on a new planet. It's been quite a bit of time for us here. The peon is not... Wait, what? The peon did not wait for us. Despite the fact that I had... Oh, you know what? It was this one here. Ah, okay, whatever. Not a big deal. Our inventory is empty. I'm going to... What am I missing? What do I have on me? There's no... Okay, there's no space platform nearby. That's what it is. So once the peon arrives, we can then make our way over to Fulgora. We will set up a new station, Fulgora, obviously. We're going to have similar circuit conditions. We're going to have the check mark, because the check mark is what we have here, making sure that we have enough of everything to make the trip. We probably don't have to wait for all of the stuff. Like as long as we have water and ammo, we're pretty much good. The rest of it can craft while we're on the way. Okay. We are going to the peon. So landing on Vulcanus was one thing. Like, we have access to a lot of different materials on, like, when we land on Fulgora, we're going to have access to a lot less materials, but more at the same time. You'll see what I mean when we get there. It's going to take a little bit of time for us to make the trip anyways. And what is the other condition? We had inactivity 30 seconds. Inactivity 30 seconds. Let's check and see how close we are. That's probably fine. We are going to go ahead and start making this trip. And then every time you set off for a new planet, it will create a kind of save state for you, just in case you crash on the way. The dangers in space were a lot more going from, or they were, we needed the ammo to be able to actually make the trip to Vulcanus. The trip to Fulgora isn't that much different. We do have to piggyback over to Nauvis before we get to Fulgora, so that is one thing. So if we wanted to, for instance, have a shipment going from Fulgora to Vulcanus and back, it would be making this little bounce, but it is what it is. I don't think there's anything we need to grab from Nauvis. We have everything here. So I am not going... Oh. Okay, you know what? We are going to make a new space platform. We are going to call this one the Jam. This is going to be kind of like similar to the Wizard. This is going to be kind of like a little supply ship that we can use to bring us some stuff that we may or may not need. Stuff like, I don't know, the ability to make a rocket. That's kind of important. That's actually huge. Yeah, I love how the trip between each of these, like these are in a big, doesn't look like it, but they're in a big square. Like this is 15 kilometers, this is 15,000 kilometers, 15,000 kilometers, 15K, 15K. Gets a little bit, wait, what? Oh, right. The Jam. So we are going to use our blueprint and just, that thing can eventually get crafted. How close are we? We're almost halfway. How's our supplies? Ammo is still fine. Water's great. These are fine. This is like, we're collecting enough along the way that we should be making everything that we need. Plenty to be able to make the trip easily. No power. Okay, so let's get, I'm going to get rid of some of these. I think even if they were all firing off, then it would probably be fine still. And we have arrived. I'm to drop down to Fulgora, our first time here. So as you've heard me say before, Fulgora has some constraints. We have some building. As you can see, we're on this little tiny island. And this is kind of like a sea of heavy oil. There are often lightning storms here, different machinery, and different, well, you can kind of see these little ruins contain different items, and that kind of goes along with the whole theme of the planet. So the theme is kind of, there was some form of civilization here at one point. They left a lot of let's get under. Go back. There's a lightning storm. The civilization is no longer here. Obviously, it was left in ruins. We don't know. I guess we don't know if they were aged out, they were annihilated, they left, they plan on coming back, whatever. We don't know anything about them. But what we do know is they left us a lot of stuff. And that stuff is in the form of ruins. And within those ruins, we have stuff like this, which is scrap. This is what we will be mining, and the scrap we will use to produce a bunch of stuff, and we will use this stuff to make materials. So it's kind of neat because we kind of start with like advanced stuff. So we start collecting LDS and blue circuits, and we have to break those down into usable materials. Lightning storm's good. Kind of. So once we get here, the first thing that we want to find is we are looking for a large vault like this. It's funny enough, my first playthrough, like it was really difficult to find one of these things. Like it actually took me a really long time, and I don't know why, but that unlocks the ability for us to make the recycler. That is the first major step. So we want to find a usable location. I should have brought a car. Wait, I didn't get anything. Oh, trash unrequested. So we collected a bunch of stuff from this. We collected a bunch of scrap. We collected a bunch of other usable materials. And we're going to start the process of just recycling some of this. So we can do this in our inventory. I'm just going to shift left click to start the whole process. As you can see, we're getting there's some blue circuits, some LDS. We've got some concrete, some solid fuel batteries. Batteries are very important. And we have this new item, holmium ore. So this is kind of the thing that we are chasing on this planet. This is what creates a bunch of different stuff for us. We create this holmium solution with stone and holmium ore with water. There is no water on the planet, but we do have ice and the ability to create water from ice from chemical plants, which is going to be very helpful. With the holmium solution, we can then make some of the holmium plate, and that is, I believe, what we're chasing next. Yes, so we need to make holmium plate, and then we will unlock the ability to make electromagnetic plants. The electromagnetic plant, similar to the foundry, gives us a base productivity of 50% for anything that it can craft, and it can craft a lot of all of this here. Similar to the foundry, it can create itself. It can create these lightning collectors, these lightning rods that we will use to harness the energy of the lightning on the planet, which means that we need a way to store it. So we're going to be making tons and tons of accumulators. We're going to start out with some solar panels and accumulators. The important part is right in here. This is the best thing that the electromagnetic plant is used for, is creating these, plus the modules, and obviously the stuff that is required to, that we need to get from this planet, which is a lot of this stuff over here. Well, not this one, but yes. So we are filtering through the scrap, and we need to make some... I don't even know where these are, to be honest. Here we go. Lightning rods. So we need some stone bricks. So for stone brick, we need to take stone and turn it into stone brick. And for that, we need something to smelt with. So we are going to go back to the peon. First thing that we're going to want is... Oh no. Oh, yes. Whew. The cargo landing pad. We're going to drop a cargo landing pad, and we are going to... Oh, did I get rid of the cargo bays? I did. Anyways, that's not a big deal. We can get some of that down later. Get some bots, get some roboports. We need... Oh, there's a couple of other things I should have brought, but I did not. Anyways, let's just start with that, because we're going to have to collect all of this. Oh, right. I need some smelters. Some furnaces. Where did the furnaces go? There they are. Okay, so one thing about Factorio that, like, the game is all about efficiency and making sure to use and produce everything that you need and use everything that you produce. Fulgora, you really need to kind of get that mindset out of your head. We are going to be pretty wasteful on this planet. There are, like, whenever I started playing on Fulgora, I was trying to use everything that I was getting, and there are situations where you just need to start, like, destroying things to get to exactly what you want, and we're going to have ways to do that. We are going to probably do the same thing that we did on Vulcanus. We're going to start up with a or set up a little starter base just to kind of get things flowing. So I'm going to pick this up. Actually, let's get some stone brick. Where did furnace? I'm going to need some power and solar panels. Let's get some. I shouldn't have picked that up. Where'd it go? Substations. Let's get some solar panels and accumulators. Might as well get some chests and maybe a little bit of inserters. Okay, so for now that's probably fine. I thought, did I increase this? I did. I increased it to 50. Okay. We're not worried about train stuff. We're not worried about piping stuff just yet. We will be shortly. You know what? Might as well have some. Anyways. Like I said, we just need some stone brick right now. Yes, low power. Thank you. Yep. Very, very low power. All right, let's just get a little bit more of these down. We are definitely not going to be using that much solar power. The planet provides pretty much as much power as we're going to need. We are going to have some backups though. Like, we are getting some solid fuel. We can use the solid fuel for a couple of things. We can use it to turn into rocket fuel. We can actually use it for fuel if we bring some of those excess boilers that we have back home. Where did those things go? Yeah, we have... What? Did I get rid of... Wait, what did I do with all the boilers? Whatever. Not a big deal. Oh, they're probably in storage. Or not. Okay, must have destroyed them. Go me. Alright, so we have some stone brick. Let's make some of the... Yeah, we'll just make all 10. We are definitely not building on this planet. I mean, we could. Like, there are some uses that we could have on this planet, but for now, we are... for now, we're just trying to get, like, I don't know, some kind of little settlement. And you can see this little flashing thing. So this means that I'm outside of the protection. When there's lightning, like, we have to be within this thing. So that is what we are doing. We're making these little lightning rods. As you can see, they kind of have an area. Like, as long as you are in this bubbled area, then you're fine. And you can see they don't have power, so we will need to connect them via our electric network. Okay, that's... And now we have like full coverage on this little platform. So before we get too deep into this, there are a few things that you need to know. One, there's 14 million scrap over here, but this is a tiny, tiny, tiny island. And you can see that this one has 190,000. So generally, the less that it has, the bigger the island, and the more that it has, the smaller the island. That is probably by design. I'm assuming that they did that very, very intentionally. I have scouted this area before, so I do know that up here in the top left, there is a very large platform, and down here in the bottom left, there's also a very large island, I guess. Okay, so let's look at what we kind of need. We need to get to some holmium ore, which we have. We need stone, which we, yes, have a little bit of, and water, which we have ice. So this is kind of on the way to get to the holmium solution. This is how we unlock the electromagnetic plant, which is what we're kind of chasing. But we want to get we want to get somewhere that is going to allow us to actually build instead of this like tiny dinky little island or tiny little dinky island over here. Again, I really wish I'd brought a car, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna get the bots to take all of this down. Nope. And we are hopefully not going to die as we start running across here. It is going to start... we're going to run into some or the electricity... lightning storms. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So as you can see, this is a pretty large area. Like, we might even initially start setting up here. It's big enough. There is no scrap here, though. Okay, so in my opinion, this planet has probably some of the best music outside of Novice. I think that Gleba and Fulgora definitely have some of the best music. Vulcanus is okay. Aquilo is just kind of... Aquilo's is more, I don't know, it's very ambient. It's very hardly noticeable, but Fulgora definitely has some noticeably good music, in my opinion. Nope, not yet. Oh, another thing to note is that basically anything outside of this bubble. It's not just you. You can get injured outside of this. Your bots can also get injured outside of this. So that is something you definitely need to be aware of. You can also see here that we're on one surface, and whenever I go over this one, it's a little bit more, like it really slows us down. We can build using our elevated rails. We can build on this section here. We cannot build over here. We cannot build on the deep ocean. We can only build on the light colored ones. Note to self, next time I do this, bring a car. Similar to, well, I mean, I guess Vulcanus does have enemies, but there are no enemies on this planet. So the enemy is, it's the lightning. And we also have cliffs here, which is fun. These give us extra holmium ore, which is, like I said, something that we are chasing. So it never hurts to, actually any of this stuff, it doesn't really hurt to collect any of it. We can just take the extra scrap and turn that into recycled material. Ooh, we're collecting a lot of stone. Okay, come on. I just need somewhere with scrap. Let's go. Any little bit of scrap will help us. Believe this might have been the area to the top. Yeah, this is the area to the north, to the northwest that I was referring to. I think there might be some scrap on the right side. Oh, I'm so going to be wrong about that. All right, we have a tiny amount of scrap over here. How much is this? 210,000? That is going to be enough to start with. Okay, more over here. Awesome. I need to get... I'm going to die. Okay, so what are we looking at? We have 31K. Oh, that was weird. Okay, so we have little bits over here. That's probably gonna be enough to get us started. So we're gonna start over here. I didn't really have an initial plan on starting anywhere, so this was just kind of on the fly. I think I said this in the last episode, but the first time that I played through the expansion, I had it in my mind I was going to go to Fulgora first. Like, this was a very intriguing planet to me. It seemed like it would be worth it, and I'm not going to lie, I had a different mindset because you think about, I don't want to waste anything. I want to make sure that I have plenty of everything. So you don't think about like, oh, I'm just going to toss literally everything except for exactly what I need. And I did not have access to the foundry or the big mining drill, that was a huge burden, I would say. You get so much extra material just from having the productivity that comes with those machines. This is probably going to be bad. I'm going to need to get some storage soon. All right, we're going to cancel deconstruct all this stuff. The bots can recharge, or I can recharge, I guess. I want to get this thing back down. Let's actually... Did I have that? Did I put that in Vulcanus, or I should have put it somewhere out here? Cargo landing pad. It won't be the exact same thing. Okay, so let's bring in some chests. I mean, we're going to be bringing in all of this stuff, but big electric power poles, we still need some of that. We definitely want some cliff explosives to get rid of some of the stuff that's currently in our way. The bots can take over. We need some of this. A little bit of storage. Okay, a lot of bit of storage. And for now, I'm just kind of like randomly placing these. We will eventually get to the point where we are going to try to maybe be a little bit more specific in where we place these. But for now, like I said, we just kind of need some stuff out of the way. We need to clear some stuff out. Starting with these cliffs, oh my goodness. Also something that I did not have access to, mind you, I did not have access to cliff explosives whenever I first came to Fulgora, since I did not make it to Vulcanus to start with. I love how it leaves a little explosion after. It's just one of those, like, here you go situations. Okay. We need to get some mining. I don't have anything down here. Wait, I did drop some of those, didn't I? Chemical plants. Offshore pumps. This is where some of these models are really going to like be helpful. And okay, so another thing that I should say real quick. This is a massive, massive landmass. Everything that we need, we could end up doing from here and then train in, like, let's say, from these tiny little islands. This is huge. This is more space than we need. However, if you've been watching me long enough, you know that I like to do things big. I don't like to just get away with the bare minimum, so we are definitely going to be setting up something small initially. And then afterwards... okay, I need some combinators. Afterwards, we are going to start setting up something that will last for quite a while. Sure, just send me all of that. Can't believe I forgot the cargo stations. I know I call this Vulcanus supplies, but I'll probably just rename it. Let's just do that. We're going to rename this just supplies. And we can adjust that each time we get to a new planet. We need some accumulators too. Did I have any on me? I thought I did. I did. Accumulators are one of those things where you just kind of like, you make these just like little farms and hope and pray that it is enough to keep you going till the next lightning storm. Lightning storms are your friends. Definitely. Just like any other planet, the initial setup is kind of a pain, but you get through it. It's a little slow, but that's okay. We are in this for the long haul. Whoops. Our poor inserters, they're so slow. We don't have enough of anything going for them. Where did my pots go? What are you guys doing? Oh, these are active profile. Okay, I get it. I don't get it. Now I get it. Wow, go me. Okay, so let's get some mining. I am going to place a couple of these first. Then we are going to figure out how we need to protect them after. I should also probably get this on my bars. Nope. Nope. Abort. And I believe we can make recyclers now, yes. So, let's talk about the recycler for a second. So, the recycler will destroy scrap. It will also destroy anything that you put in it, returning 25% of the ingredients that are required to make it. So, the scrap will return, we kind of looked at that earlier. This is what the scrap will return for us. But for instance, if we looked at the processing units and we looked at the scrap recycling, no, not scrap recycling, recycling for the processing unit, it will on average return 25% of the ingredients, of the solid ingredients, I should say. So on average, it'll give us 5 electronic circuits and 0 to 1 advanced circuits. So all the materials in the game that can be scrapped or can be recycled have something similar to this. There are some exceptions. I cannot remember off the top of my head which. So for instance, if you scrapped solid fuel, it has a 25% chance of giving you back solid fuel. And that is something to note. It will obviously not give us back any petroleum or any kind of gases or anything like that, any kind of the liquids. But if you were going to try to destroy something completely, you definitely want to have some kind of looping back into itself mechanism to be able to make this happen. Also with the recycler, it has the arrow. So we know from mining that anytime you have this little arrow, that means that whatever happens to it, it will just drop it in front of itself. The same was with the burner miners, right? So if it has the arrow, then it will just place onto the belt. We are initially going to be starting with this setup where scrap will come out, or we will get scrap, put it into recyclers. Recyclers will dump everything, all of its contents onto a belt, and we will start to filter it. Again, the mindset is you definitely want to think and understand that all of the materials that we're getting are either usable or expendable in some way or trashable. Like we can just get rid of anything that we don't want. We can get rid of anything we don't need. You can have, and this is again something to keep in mind. Ooh, 38 million. That's a good thing to have nearby. You could take this island as an example, bring scrap in, say, via train, and say that, you know what, I just want this to be an area that is dedicated to giving me, I don't know, blue circuits. So you have a setup where it's recycling the blue circuit or recycling the scrap, filtering out the blue circuits, collecting the blue circuits, and literally just scrapping everything else. Again, that might seem like a complete and total waste, but when we have 38 million in a pile like this, and You know, we've got what, 14 million down here, 14 million that we can see from here. This is probably actually bigger, probably closer to like 18 to 20 million. We, like, it is very okay to just toss anything that we don't need. As a matter of fact, once we get to the point, like as we continue on, we will get to a point where the holmium ore is so valuable that we can literally just set up areas that are dedicated to just funneling only holmium ore. And as you can see, if I can get back to that, holmium ore is a 1% chance to get from scrap. So we're going to be literally scrapping almost everything here just to get to the holmium ore. Yeah. Funny enough, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone use this before, but another maybe potentially odd thing that you maybe could do, I've never tested this, it's just something that I kind of thought about doing, was you are technically getting almost all the ingredients that you need from this. You're getting processing units, you're getting LDS, you're getting solid fuel, and we can just mine heavy oil right off the edge and convert that easily into light oil. You have basically everything that you need for launching rockets. You could possibly, I don't even know how you would do it, but you could maybe have a situation where you could like send holmium, like if you had an area way over here, you could send holmium up to a space station or to a space platform and then send it back down to whatever location you had your cargo landing pad. Again, I don't know if you can actually do that. It's just a little thought that I had. I'm pretty sure you can do that. But anyways, so we have an initial setup. We need to get some recyclers going. I just saw them. There they are. So we are going to start, let's say, with just 5 here. And we kind of need to end this video soon. And we will just let them dump everything that they have onto these belts here. And they do need to bring in materials. Sure. And as you can see, they just kind of dump everything onto a belt. Okay, so we have at least a little starting area. Well, I don't know about little. This is actually, like I said, a very, very large area for starting out. Yeah, so we're going to end it there. In the next episode, we are going to start the process of filtering through and using probably about as much as we can handle with these guys. You can see they are still going because they are storing all of their stuff. We need to make some more recyclers because they are extremely valuable and extremely useful on this planet. We need to increase the amount of energy storage we have and energy capacity by spreading out the lightning rods. I might even kind of set up like a little bit of a blueprint to kind of determine, okay, how far apart do some of these need to be? Is it going to be, you know, anyways, we'll figure some of that out in the next episode. So that is going to be it for me for now. Yeah, if you've been enjoying my content, well, you know what to do. And I will see you in the next episode. And thanks for watching.